Alright guys, welcome to this video lesson on the 5 steps to crush the GRE. The 5 steps to crush the GRE. So let's take a step back before we go any deeper and really explain what the GR is and what it stands for and why it's really important in applying to PT schools. So the GRE stands for Graduate Record Examination. And remember when you were studying either for the ACT or the SAT and you had to take that in order to get into undergrad and college? Well, this is really the same thing just for graduate school. And it's here to test your competency level to see if you can handle graduate school at the next level. So why is it important to physical therapy schools? Now, a lot of them want to see that you can do well or adequately well on a standardized test, because at the end of physical therapy school, in order to get your license, you will have to take what is called the NPTE, the National Physical Therapy Examination, which is a standardized test. So a lot of schools take this GRE score and really try to project like, okay, they're scoring this well, or this score on the GRE. This may give some correlation to how they might do on the standardized test in the future. So that's why, those are really the two reasons as to why PT schools find this important. So that's really the bird's eye view of the GRE and why it's here in the application process. So going a little deeper into the 5 steps on crushing this GRE that's here and that we have to get through. So number 1 is really staying organized. Staying organized. Now, one of the first steps you can do to do this is have a timeline, a plan that you can follow in a certain time period. Now that can either be 2 months, 3 months, 4, 6, however short or long you want to take. It doesn't really matter. Now you probably want to give yourself more than 2 days, or probably more than 4 weeks or so. But a lot of people say, oh, I studied 6 months, I studied 2, I studied 5.5. That really doesn't matter. What's more important is really diligent, disciplined, planned out, strategic study time. That's what's more important. So if you're studying for 2.5 months, for 3 months, but it's really studying, not consistently, here and there, not focused, not diligent, not disciplined, then that's really not gonna matter. You spent 3 months of really doing what, right? So if you study 2.5 months or 2 months of every day consistently doing these topics at the same time, using the same things in the same place, that's going to give you a much greater reward of studying for 4 months of really doing nothing, or vice versa. So you get the understanding of how important it is to be organized in your schedule and in your time period. So that's number 1, stay organized. Number 2 is the prep courses. Now these can help you stay organized as well. These give you a base structure and a base outline of what's really on the exam and what you can do to prepare, as in getting a base knowledge, using some strategies. Maybe some of them have their own timeline that you can follow. This is a great way to get ahead and stay on top of things. And it really helps with everything. Everything is really right there. So a few big prep courses that a lot of people use are things like Magoosh, Kaplan, ETS, which is the GRE, I believe, website information. Then you also have things like Argo Prep and Princeton Review as well. These are all great resources to use. What's most important though is finding what works best for you. Sometimes we get messages or comments saying, oh, do you recommend any? And sometimes really people are saying, oh, this works great, only use this one. And other people are saying, no, this one worked for me. It really comes down with which one do you vibe with? Which one has the structure that you like? Which one can you use on the go? Or which one is a hardcover book that you like to study from and you can highlight? Whichever one works for you is the best one. So do some research, read up on it, see what they all have to offer. And sometimes these even might be free at the library. And you can either check it out or sit there, find your study spot, and go there for your study material. So check it out, do your research. That's number 2, the prep courses. Number 3 is mindset. Number 3 is mindset, and this is really important because sometimes we get anxious about this exam, It's a big bad beast that we have to get through. It's like, how am I ever gonna do it? I've been studying time and time again. I've been getting the same score. And really, you have to think differently about it. Understand that it's just a small piece of your application, right? It's just a small piece. It's gonna be here and gone before you know it, right? And the other part of it is really understanding that it's words. You know, it's numbers, it's a computer, you know, it's a desk, it's a chair. It's the same thing you've been doing time and time again, just in a different setting, right? So it's just understanding and having that mindset that it's just another test. I've taken tests before, whether it's written, whether it's the ACT, SAT, and I've gotten through it. I'm still here, I'm still alive, and understanding that you will get through this as well. Then the other part of the mindset is really, it's a quote that Dr. Kyle Rice from the PTHustle.com, look it up, and he's in our Pre-PT Success course, and he breaks down strategies of how to take the GRE and standardized test. He's a standardized test expert, and he's in our Pre-PT Success program, so he's gonna break all of this down in further detail. But he says this quote saying that you have to go into tests saying that you are the answer key. You are the answer key. You've studied hard, you've been disciplined, you've been diligent, consistent, using strategies, using the prep courses, staying organized. You have everything here. Everything's in your mind, and you have every answer to that test that it's gonna bring to you. So understanding that you are the answer key will change everything for you. So that's number 3, having the right mindset. Number 4, I've been talking about this the whole time, but let's unpack discipline a little bit more. Number 4 is discipline. So how can we get a little deeper into that, into the nitty-gritty of discipline? Now, sometimes you might have to, study in the same place. Sometimes you might have to stay to a strict schedule. At 7:27 p.m. or a.m., I'm gonna study this on my plan and this on my schedule, and I'm gonna get through this much material. Sometimes you can't study in the same place all the time. I can't study in the same place all the time. This is the pen I use for my studying, and I have the same binder I use all the time as well. So that helps me stay disciplined and organized and consistent with wherever I'm at. So maybe you have to do that. Maybe it's the same time in the morning or same time at night, or walking, or whatever it is. Stay disciplined and on course with whatever you have to do, because that's really the game changer. You can have the best course, you can have the best organization, you can have the best mindset, but if you're not disciplined in all of those things, it's not going to be as successful as you want. So that's number 4. With whatever you do, whether it's practice, test, mindset, prep courses, organization, study time, you have to stay disciplined in everything you do in this process. So that's number 4. Lastly, number 5 is practice test. Make sure you're staying on top of the practice test and understanding that that is a very important thing to do for standardized tests. Sometimes we go through the courses, we go through the books, we study all day, all night, then we get to the test and it's like, oh, I didn't know it was gonna be this long. I never practiced for 2 hours, 3 hours long. I never, sat in the same spot. I never had to get security checked in and checked out. I had no idea it was like this. Taking practice tests over and over, there's a lot of free ones out there, then your courses also have some too. Taking practice tests over and over and understanding how the test layout is, how they answer questions, how it's broken up, how many rest breaks can you take. All of that is important. So when you get into a new environment, it's not gonna sway you. You understand what's coming. You understand everything and there's no surprises. So take as many practice tests as you can for endurance reasons, for strategies, for understanding the test layout, for understanding how many breaks you're gonna take, when you're gonna take them, when you're gonna go to the bathroom, when you're gonna get water. All of that matters. All the strategies, all the knowledge, all the mindset, it all matters, and you can put that into practice with practice tests. And lastly, do not forget about that writing section when you're taking practice tests. There's a lot of free prompts out there. You can practice all day long with the writing as well. So that's another tip. Do not forget that writing part as well. I believe ETS, like I mentioned before, has some writing prompts, free writing prompts that you can use for the GRE, but practice, practice, practice. So those are the 5 steps for the GRE. Like I mentioned before, we dive much deeper into this with Dr. Kyle Rice, not just in the video lessons in our course, but in a live guest lecture in our private Facebook group. And we can go deeper and deeper into this on the phone calls that you get from myself and Joseph and your individual coaches in the Pre-PT Success program. So we got you on the GRE. If this is a problem for you, we got you here as well. We take no chances. So those are the 5 steps to crushing the GRE. Number 1 is staying organized. Number 2, prep courses. 3, mindset. 4, discipline. 5 is practice tests. So if you like what you heard, sign up for our webinar. I know there's pictures and links, attachments above and below. Seats are filling up fast, so save your spots, and we go deeper and deeper into everything that you need for your success in the PT application there. So I'll see you at the webinar. Save your spot. Seats are filling up fast. See you soon.